Arash, you should see this facility we're in here.
I was about to say, this is a heck of a setup you guys have over there. This is outstanding.
CN Community Center.
Nothing but the best for us, Arash.
Yes,
Yep.
it's
Millville.
Carter. Carter set it up, helped some help with the boys back in Regina. And great job. It's got the walking track around, so people are hoofing.
Arash, since we're going to talk baseball today, trivia question for you. Which
Yes, sir.
Major League Baseball player came from Melville, Saskatchewan?
Ooh, I do not know. I'm usually good with these things, but I don't know the Melville connection.
Sorry, I threw a stump at you. I apologize.
Yeah,
Terry Poole.
no, it's all good.
Houston Astros, Terry Poole.
Terry Poole.
Oh.
Wow. I'm looking him up right now.
There you go.
I was
Yeah.
going to say Tony Fernandez.
P-U-H-L, not P-O-O, P-U-H-L.
15-year big league career
Yeah,
in the
from
Astros Hall
Melville,
of Fame.
Saskatchewan.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I did
Any
not
other
know
trivia?
I could throw a couple others, but we'll leave it at that for now.
Let's we haven't talked Blue Jays with you yet, so let's get going. Opening day for the Blue
It might be
Jays
one and done.
is Thursday. It is coming up. Playing Baltimore at home in Toronto. 74-win season, last place in the AL East for the Jays in 2024. Why is it their year this year, Arash?
Well, I don't know if it's their year. They certainly can't be as bad as they were last. Like last place, 74 wins. Like they play 162 still. Like that hasn't changed. And we're talking about a team, Barney, like they're one of the top payroll teams in the entire American League. It's not like they're a small market. It's not like they're not spending. And they've made a couple of moves, but yet again this season they just seem to expect internal improvement. So yeah, they go get Jimenez from Cleveland. Yeah, they go get Santander from Baltimore, hoping that Anthony Santander is going to provide a little pop to their lineup. But I expected that this was a team that was going to upgrade its bullpen. I thought they were going to bring in, obviously they're hoping Bichette's going to be healthy this year and have a turnaround. I thought they were going to bring in a little more offensive pop, and they didn't. So they're relying on a veteran, some may say old, pitching staff to get it done for them, and not a lot of change in an offense that hasn't been able to hit for a couple of years.
Jimenez, former Gold Glover in the.
Let me just stop you there. It doesn't sound like Sharky's buying in to their formula here. He's not quite,
I'm not either, but I'm hiding it well.
Right.
I have this is over for me like April 30th. Like the Jays are out of the mix by the end of April.
Yeah, I'm not
aggressive.
going there yet because, look, it's such a weird situation because they can't be as bad as last year, but what's their ceiling? How good can they be? Bo Bichette only played half the year last year with injuries and everything else, and he just never got into a rhythm. Bo has to be a little bit better. Is Alejandro Kirk as the everyday catcher? Is he going to be able to catch 120 games for them, 110 games for them? What kind of pop is he going to give from the bat? On and on and on. I get it. I thought they were going to upgrade their pitching staff, like I said, and especially their bullpen. Like we've now reached the point, Sharky, where starters go 5, maybe 6 for the first 2 months of the year. And so your relievers become so important. And, they bring in Jeff Hoffman as their 9th inning guy who's got a ton of questions, namely with health. Other teams said no because of his shoulder. We still don't know what Chad Green's going to be for 162. I understand why there are all these question marks, but I'm not quite ready to fully write them off, 5 weeks into the year. I still think that there's, and especially when you have a front office on the hot seat, and everybody knows they are, a manager on the hot seat, a GM on the hot seat, how willing will they be to go get moves to upgrade early in the season if they need to? I think that's going to be a real interesting kind of piece to this whole conversation.
Well, if you're talking about doing that early in the season, why didn't they go in the offseason and find some of those guys? At least bring in some youth. At least go get some younger
You're the guy
guys.
that wants to build hockey teams with older guys.
That's different. That's junior hockey. Don't bring that up. That's not appropriate to this conversation. Right? Why didn't they get some youth so that they could say, hey, we've got some young pitchers and a veteran in the bullpen? Why? Like it just seems to me they did the same. They're hoping for different results from the same work.
Yeah, and I mean, the honest answer is, I guess they kind of tried with Juan Soto, but you never got the sense Soto was coming to Toronto. But the other issue in all this is, how do you get out of some of these deals? No one's taking George Springer's contract. No one's going to take that money on. Dalton Varsho, if you're going to trade an asset to go get a little younger, well, Varsho's coming off surgery. He's not going to be ready to, start the season. When is he going to be back? I don't know, 6 weeks in, something like that. I guess Alek Manoah, is he fully ready for a bounce back coming off total struggles and surgery, etc.? Like, that's still a question mark. As good as he was in 2022, it's almost like he's fallen off a cliff since. So I get it.
Exactly.
I just don't know. This is what happens when you don't have a farm system. They took over, this front office took over 10 years ago, and they said they're going to be wafts of talent coming in. We're going to upgrade the farm system. That lets you have room to maneuver, and it just hasn't happened.
It's not there. No.
Is the Vladimir Guerrero contract situation going to hover over this team all year like I think it will?
Yes. Like, the first day of every series on the road, Boston, Yankees, Mets, insert big name market here, there, everywhere. They're going to roll into Chicago. Everybody's going to ask. And look, even this year at spring training, after Vlad spoke the first day, I think, what was it, a week or two ago, guys? He's doing an on-camera interview in Dunedin at the Blue Jay facility with the logo of the team he's playing for, the Jays, right behind him. He's wearing Blue Jay gear, and he's saying, yeah, at the end of the season, I'm going to talk to 29 teams, including the Yankees. So Mark Shapiro, the president of the team, came out this week and said, or last week said, I'm really confident we're going to get to a deal. Well, until they do, everywhere this team goes, this is going to be as sought after a free agent as baseball is going to have this winter. And so the questions are just going to continue.
I don't know, pun intended, inside baseball. From a somewhat passive watcher and everything, there's no way he's signing.
No,
that ship is sailed.
I think it's gone. Yeah,
so
they had their window.
Can you?
I disagree.
You can't move them. Oh, really?
No,
okay.
I disagree. Look, if this is like this, I think this is a fascinating part of this whole discussion, because for the last few years, regardless of what the record was, good, bad, indifferent, that ballpark has been pretty full. They averaged over 30,000 fans last year as a last place team. And that's not going to continue this year. It won't. There are more empty seats, right? There are seats available for opening day. There are seats available for Canada Day. Like, the fact that 2 days out you can get into the ballpark on Thursday is wild when you consider Blue Jays history. So if ownership, if people above Mark Shapiro say, wait a minute, we're not getting the bodies, we're not getting the butts in the seats, we're not getting the revenue. A friend of mine went to spring training. A large can of beer was $17.50. If they're not bringing in that kind of revenue, oh yeah,
come on,
yeah, that's what we're talking about here, guys. Then suddenly, like, no one's going to sell more tickets than Vlad. Nobody. And so if you're not if you're not bringing the revenue you thought, maybe there's a way that ownership says, all right, we'll step up. We'll pay that money, even though our baseball people say, the valuation doesn't add up, if that makes any sense.
$17.50. Yikes.
US.
Keg.
US.
For that.
That's a $25 Canadian can.
There's no way I want to drink beer that much.
Barney, we'll revisit this in September when I'm in town.
More of them.
What's the bare minimum expectation for the Toronto Blue Jays this year?
Well, they have to get into the playoffs. There is that is the absolute minimum situation. Look, they have not won a playoff game since 2016. This is it's reached the point now where it's gotten absurd. So they got to get in. They got to win a game. They've got to make a little bit of noise in October. Because here's the thing, Kevin Gausman, he's up at the end of next year. Chris Bassett, you're talking about these starting pitchers whose contracts are going to be up. This is put up or shut up time. Because if not now, I think we've had this conversation about other teams before.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills. If not now, when? When? Especially if you're facing the predicament of Bichette and Guerrero potentially being out the door at the end of the year.
Is it enough just to be in the last week, to be battling in the last week? Is it enough to have that last week of the season mean something?
It's a good question, Sharky. I would think not, but I honestly don't know what the measure is for, we're talking from a baseball standpoint. What do they have to do? They have to get in, they have to win a playoff game, they have to win a series. But this is still a front office that's been there for 10 years and hasn't won one playoff game. So I don't know what it, quote unquote, is going to take to keep him or lose him. I do know that a lot of this comes down to they believe in Mark Shapiro. They believe in the renovations he's done. They believe in the direction that he's taken the business. Now, I don't know what that means from a wins and losses standpoint, from an October standpoint. It's a great question. I honestly don't think a lot of people know the true answer to that question.
Because to get in the playoffs is 25 more wins than they had.
Right.
That's what you're looking at. A playoff berth is another 25. That's a big number, right?
That's a big
number. That's a big number in baseball, 25 more wins.
You need veteran leadership.
You need some veteran leadership for that. Yes. Yeah. You need John Randall.
You know what else you need? You need to be able to hit the baseball. That little detail is going to be really important this year, because for a couple of years, they haven't been able to hit the baseball.
Nope.
For a couple of years, their bullpen has let them down. All that stuff.
Yeah. All right. Let's circle back on the Blue Jays. It's Arash Madani, Coast to Coast. For Brian Gawley, Smart Investing Solutions. You can call Brian 546-2533. Text message in here on the text line from our boy Roscoe. He says, get Arash's take on the Ed Hervey situation. And we were going to ask you anyway. The glasses are coming off. If you're watching the stream, the glasses are coming off.
Man, think about how disrespectful. We can laugh about it, we can joke about it, but think about how disrespectful that is. Here's a dude who played in the league for a long time. And I take a lot of issue with how the league is run. I take a lot of issue with how the league has been governed. I take a lot of issue with player safety, the fact that the business side of the enterprise has not improved. But you cannot criticize the level of play in professional football, and to say there are no superstars is so ignorant. And if anybody should know better, it's a dude who played in that market, has won a championship in that market as a front office executive, and is now back there. It's one thing to try and save your ass for how this whole thing exploded in your face, but to then effectively disrespect and spit on the face of every player in this league, it's just disgusting. It's uncalled for.
Yeah.
It should be a finable offense. And there have been crickets from the league office about this. But if a player had anything to say about the precious little people who govern the operation, how much money's coming out of their pockets and how quickly, publicly, would that be known?
He needs some coaching or some lessons in public speaking and communication. Maybe you could offer a course, Arash. Yeah.
But the problem is you can give all the courses and lessons. The person's got to be willing and want to listen. When's the last time Ed Hervey listened to anybody?
Apparently never. Yep.
Yeah. How's that deal in the drawer with Mike Riley going, Ed?
I think that's a fantastic way to end it for today. Great soundbite. Always a pleasure. Let's regroup on Thursday, because that is opening day.
Yeah.
What time's first pitch?
Are you going to the park?
I haven't made plans. I might pop over there, actually. We'll see. Actually, no, because if I'm going to come on with 6 o'clock with you guys. By the way, is Terry Poole still in Melville? Do we know?
No, he's not here. No,
he lives down in Houston or something.
I think he stayed in America,
walking in one of the tracks here.
Yeah, he's on the walking track.
Hey, Terry. No. Okay, buddy. We'll have a good couple days. We'll regroup on Thursday.
All right, fellas. Appreciate you guys.